I've had a lot of questions from family and friends and even a couple emails through the channel asking me kind of why I'm doing this. And some were sort of like, why are you doing this? In other words, this is interesting, why are you doing this? So I thought I'd just answer that in a quick, I don't know, few minutes of rambling. I love constantly learning new things. It's just something that really jazzes me. These planes in the background here. I got into woodworking a long time ago, building bunk beds and all that for the kids, and guitars, electric guitars primarily, you know, an ukulele, things like that. And then I just started getting deeper and deeper into woodworking, and I get farther and farther back because I'm kind of into old stuff, and I dig vintage things. And so now I do a lot of old-fashioned woodworking more than new mega power tools. I have all the power tools because there are times when I need to build stuff for the house or my kids or whatever, but I just really enjoy that kind of thing. And skateboard is one of these kind of classic things of my childhood, but also I grew up hearing stories from my dad. He was a hill bomber on, you know, the boards with roller skates underneath in the 50s. Grew up in Westchester in LA. And, you know, he sort of claims it was skateboarding was invented sort of in his neighborhood or within 10 miles of his house or something. And maybe it was. I haven't looked too deep, but he was kind of into it. And when he retired, my brother and I got him back into surfing, and we kind of did some longboarding together. And that got to be a little frustrating because I needed pretty ideal conditions for it to be a good experience for me. It's time consuming to get all the gear, get out to the beach, paddle out there, and then the waves are crap. Or if there are the few really good days, it's super crowded. And so it kind of fell away a little bit. I still have my longboard. I'm still going to go back out, hopefully this winter in January. But I just dig these kinds of things, and I have connections to it with my dad and my own childhood. It's why I restore old Volkswagens. I restored a 69 Beetle. I'm working on a 74 bus. My dad had a Beetle, a Baja, when I was growing up, and his dad had a 53 ragtop. And then my first car that I drove off on my wedding night in was a 73 Beetle, and then I had a 79 van. So it's like, it's just sort of touchstones to my past. There are things that I really regret giving up. I regret selling that Beetle, so I bought another one eventually. And I was thinking again about stuff in my childhood, and some of my players that I coached, they skateboard, and they were doing some before practice, and I was like, man, I want to do that. And I was feeling that pinch of like, why did I stop? Because if I hadn't stopped, I would have been so good at it right now. And I've had that same feeling at times with guitar, where I often go 6 months without playing because my life is just too chaotic and stressful and time consumed, and I don't get to play much music. And I have a tendency to kind of do a lot of shoulding, is what we call it. Don't should on yourself. I should have done this, I should have done that. There's an old phrase that said, or an old adage that said, the best day to start something is 10 years ago or today. And so I got tired of saying, I wish I'd done this, and I just got it in my head, I'm gonna skateboard again. So I got out my old board that I had from when my my son was young, and I checked it out, and I went online, bought some used bits and pieces. I bought a cruiser deck, the Apex Original Carbon, whatever the hell it's called, I always forget. And I just started getting into it. And when I get into something, I go full speed. I learn everything I can, I study, I practice, and I hit it hard to really try to have that initial ramp up of commitment go quickly. Once I get up to a certain level, I can kind of taper off, and if the progress at that point is a little bit more gradual, that's okay. Because to me, I've gotten deep enough into a thing quickly enough that I am committed, and I have enough skill or foundation now to enjoy the experience of practicing, playing, whatever it might be, and then go from there. Some are asking, like, so what are you doing? Are you doing longboard cruising? Are you going to do hill bombing? Are you doing transition? Are you going to do flat ground tricks? And the answer ultimately is yes to almost all of that. I'm not hill bombing anything, but I'm not monogamous, for lack of a better word, to skateboarding one particular type. At this point, I think I own 6 skateboards, and I've been doing this since first night out was October 26th, my oldest birthday. So in less than 2 months, I got 6 skateboards. I've got a flat ground board. I got a transition board. I got 2 different cruiser boards that are very different. I got that penny board that I made, and then I'm making up another shorty cruiser to go on the OJ3s. I just love those wheels, and I'm going to put them on the trucks I pulled off of the Sector 9 when I upgraded to the 10-inch trucks. So I'm not committed to doing one type. Some days I'm like, man, my body is sore. I'm gonna go do some flat ground stuff in the backyard. Or my Achilles is hurting and I don't wanna do some long cruises, so I'm gonna do some skate park, which is much less demanding on my heel. Or I've landed hard on my shoulders or my hip or my back or my ass or whatever, and so now I wanna do a bit more cruising, something that's gonna be a little bit less impactful, if that makes sense. So I want to switch around. I'm not sure how much I'm going to use that penny board. It was just more of a fun thought exercise. Could I do it? Anyway, the long story short, too late. I want to do it all. I want to get, my hands in a bunch of different pies to see which ones I like the most. And then on any given day, if the skate park is crowded, I have 3 or 4 skateboards in the back of my car. Skate park's crowded, I'm gonna go to, a bike path and go for a cruise for 45 minutes. Or if the weather's not so good, I'm gonna do some flat ground stuff in the backyard or whatever. I just have choices now, and everything gets me more comfort on a skateboard. With turning, with bailing, with taking falls and minimizing the pain. I just get to do it all. So I hope this makes sense. I mean, I'm 51. I don't want to break anything badly. Like, I don't want to blow out my knees. My brother did that when he was 48 because he was playing flag football with a bunch of 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds, and his knee went right and he went left, and he was out for a year. I'm not really hoping to do anything that dangerous. I was talking to a guy who said, an older guy, he said a rule his buddy once told him was, don't ever ollie down something or jump down something you can't ollie up. So I'm not doing 5 stairs. I'm not doing 3 stairs. I ain't doing stairs. I'm not doing rails. I might try some really low, like a foot off the ground rails, but I'm not doing anything that's gonna get me, hit me in the junk. So I'm just trying to be smart about it while also pushing myself creatively and intellectually and physically in a nice sort of trifecta of effort. And those 3 things, when they combine together, that just makes me the happiest. Like the woodworking stuff, I'm using my hands, I'm using my mind, I'm using some creativity in terms of design. Guitar, same thing, it's physical, it's intellectual, it's creative. Like that's the perfect blend for me. The cars I work on, I don't just make it look like it came out of the factory showroom. I'm customizing it. I'm making, like my Bug, I made it into a little bit of a hot rod. You can go check that out if you want at School Street Garage. That's one of my other YouTube channels that it's been around for a while. I've got my full Beetle restoration there, and I'm doing the bus now too. But the whole idea of it is when I get those 3 things going at the same time, I'm in my happy place. Some people will say, like, they don't know what they're gonna do when they retire. They're gonna be so bored. Not me, man. My job gets in the way of my life. It pays for all these things, and I greatly enjoy teaching. Not so much the grading or the committee work. But if I retired tomorrow, I would be as busy, if not busier, and my mind would be active, my body would be active, my heart, my soul would be incredibly active, and it would be great. So that's just a little bit of why I'm doing this, how I approach these things, what excites me about it. I'm hoping to keep doing it for a very long time. I love that I've run into a bunch of older skateboarders who are still ripping and doing some real fun, exciting stuff. They're doing fast work, they're doing quarter pipes, they just don't go airborne, and that's fine by me. I will talk to you later. If you watched all of this, I appreciate it. I'm largely just putting up a variety of stuff. Some of you watch the cruising videos, some of you watch my flat ground practice, some of you watch my skate park videos. that they're all just sort of a mishmash. What you get in a given day or episode is entirely what I felt like doing that week and what practice I was going to be doing. Take care. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube gibberish. And if you got any suggestions on what I should add, what I should do differently, what I should do more, I'd love to hear it, because I've gotten some real good advice from guys at skate parks and from several of you guys leaving me comments that keep me going. Take care.